Hello and welcome to another video. Today we've got yet another FUT Champs round to get through. This is going to be the final one, both pre-team of the season and pre the recent patch. Actually, no, the Liga. No, this was Liga team of the season, so never mind, forget about that. This is for the red rewards and all that for Liga, women's and what is it? Liga men's and Archema League women's. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. This is the team. We're going to jump on through in just a second here, but real quick, the highlights to this are going to be probably Mortals Conte, actually, for, new additions into the team. But, of course, that Mata and then Fermin are going to be, two of the best cards in the team, absolutely no question. Maldini is okay. This Quoto Evo is actually quite good. But the star of this weekend is going to be this Neymar. We are putting an Evo chain on him through. We're going to hop right into the highlights here pretty quickly. But, yeah, this Neymar, you're just going to see absolutely, just plenty from. Absolutely no question. He's going to be quite good. Maybe not the most exciting thing to start off with there, but yeah, he's going to be quite good. What's actually happened with him? So funny enough, I have a 99 dribbling chain Neymar, but it's not as good as this one. Because this one I was able to put Press Proven on with the Hawk 2 Evo. So he's got base Press Proven, and the 99 dribbling one does not. And that base Press Proven is so important for a card like this. And then next up, he's gone into the Dribbling Greatness Evo, so he's going to get, I'm trying to, I think, complete the Evo with Yan Quoto, so nice little goal from the fullback there. But yeah, Neymar's going to end up, he doesn't have him yet, but he's going to end up at the end here, Trickster Plus, and then Finesse Plus, and Tech Plus, which are going to be massive on him, as well as Low Driven Base, Tiki Taka Base, and then all his normal, base play styles as well. So it's a very, very good Evo Neymar card, with 98 stamina, which is also massively important for him. So he's going to be the absolute star of the show. Now, I've talked a bit about Juan Mata. Very similar looking card, the same passing play styles, finesse base and low driven. Actually, Mata, we'll get back to Mata in a second. I sell this one. I sell that finish. But we're going to talk about this because this is why you watch this channel, right? This is why you come and see whatever I'm up to as opposed to anybody else, right? These silly little dribbling moments that are just so fun to watch. They're so fun to perform too. This Neymar, of course, is going to be particularly good at all of that as opposed to anybody else in the team, just outshining everyone. Now again, the Mata card's very similar, actually better dribbling, better, I think everything but short passing is better on Mata instead of, oh yeah, I don't know what happens here. Wait just a moment. There it goes. Thanks, EA servers. That was a very good sign as a start to the Liga team of the season. But anyway, despite Mata having just better dribbling in literally every single category, as well as pretty much better every other stat, Neymar with a unique body type just ends up being the star. Now, of course, I say that as I'm showing you one of the best goals I've scored with Mata perhaps for a while. Shot cancels I need to work back into my game, actually. I have not been using them too much. You're not going to see too many of them through the weekend here, but yeah, I have to get a couple more things once again for the Evo with Quoto, so we're going to force the assist out of him, I think, to complete the chain. But it gives him intercept, which is very important for that card to have. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about, especially the end of the year, I mean, throughout the rest of the year, it's you give me Eden Hazard, of course, good luck defending him, of course, as we're trying to showboat once again. I'm doing the post-com reaction, but if you were there live com, I laughed for so long after missing that finish after all of what I'm doing. It seems to be a trend right now, putting in all the work and then just missing the final thing. I guess that's typical of me. Once again, Juan Mata, man. How are you supposed to... Again, throughout the rest of the year, you give me the Atik Evo, you give me Eden Hazard, you give me cards like that. Good luck. But actually, when you give me the just high-end, high-tier perfect cards like Mata and Neymar, it's not just good luck. It's game over. How are you actually supposed to stop me when I get cards like this? The dribbling we have this year is some of the worst we've had for any FIFA. I'd actually say it's my least favorite. But it's also, you can't deny, one of the most powerful. This was fun. That's a fun little moment. Thanks, game. Whatever is going on there. And then this game actually almost completely rubs me the wrong way. I remember this one. Don't mind what's going on in the top right. I forgot to properly make my little record, but of course we're conceding to a little bounce there off of Lewis Hall. That's always fun. after the nonsense at the other end where Van der Sar somehow keeps the ball out of the back of the net. But again, like dribbling this year, I just don't enjoy that much. But it's so powerful, and it's silly to me because nobody does this. Nobody plays like this, right? I've literally, the entire year, at least in past years, I've come up every once in a while against that one opponent where it's like, okay, they actually play a different style. This year, literally, nobody plays a different style. Nobody at all, whatsoever. Like, dribbling's so strong. At least let me face one opponent who recognizes how good these mechanics are. But of course, we've got Madri on the ball here once again. I forgot to mention her as we started with Eden Hazard, but somebody in the chat said, you know what, it's team this season, go ahead and try out some new cards. So she ends up featuring quite heavily. I don't know if I'll speak too much on her card during this, though, because I will be putting out a review, probably the video after this, on specifically her. So you'll hear my full thoughts in that one, so I guess I'll keep some of it for that. But you will see more highlights overall in this video than in that one for her. But anyway, yeah, with Mata, 99 dribbling, press proven, trickster plus, just base press, although of course if I could ever put press plus on him, I would. That's Madri who gets the flowers for scoring this. That's so... The tight control there from Neymar to dance away that quickly there is just why dribbling, it's absurd, man. Man, I get frustrated that nobody plays like this. Just, I'd be curious to see what it's like to play against me, you know? I'm sure it's frustrating as all heck, but like, just some variety from this game. There's Finesse Plus as we're, again, completing the rest of the Evo for this Neymar card, and yeah, he ends up with only like 90, around 90 for most of the shooting stats. But you give him Finesse Plus, 5-star weak foot, and base Travella, and he's going to put the ball in the back of the net. Quite a bit for us, not to mention the low-driven base on him too, very, very important. That low-driven playstyle is ending up probably my... I don't know if I want to say favorite. I'm just particular to finesses. I like them, but it's just kind of a personal preference. But the low-driven is probably the most important shooting playstyle to have right now. You're just able to get into spots like this and have it get blocked, but then score that one, so it's fine. Yeah, Mata, thank you. Let's talk about the tactic a little bit. So we're doing that 4-4-1-1, where it is Fermin Lopez as the playmaker, attack center mid, and then we've got, speaking of Fermin, there he pops up for us. Madri, nice little Travella there, easy finish for her. So playmaker attack on one center mid, and then it's, I think I'm just doing holding on Conte. So I've got just kind of one central player holding down the forward at the back, and then basically every other player in the team is attacking. It's Shadow Striker ++ on Neymar, inside forward ++ on Kelly and Madri. And then the unique thing for this weekend is we've taken a Teak out, and we've got Mata up top. And Mata has the striker role, no advance forward though, but he's false 9 ++. And so what we're trying for this weekend is Mata dropping off as the false 9, and we've got Neymar who's doing the Shadow Striker runs behind him. So despite Mata being a better card, I was surprised that wasn't a pen. We're not having the strongest start to the weekend. We had the one person quit at 2-2, where I was down in the first game. Second game, I think, was, yeah, significantly easier, but still not the easiest matches we've had at the very start. Oh, yeah, this Chesney, so we've had two where I'm just trying to dribble the goalie, and Chesney just absolutely saves this guy. It was a little bit frustrating, I think, while playing this. And probably no surprise to anybody, but Kelly, the first touch. That's such a letdown there. That should be such an easy goal to get from there. And Conte with basically perfect passing stats and incisive base. Pink plus and tiki-taka base. That Immortals Evo is pretty absurd, and I'm probably going to keep this card in my team for a while. I believe I might be able to put him into Anticipate. I'm not sure, actually. He might have too many base play styles. Might be able to give him Anticipate. Look at this finish. Oh, it's not this one. I was thinking the next one. Ooh, the cancel. That's nice. I did not see that coming. I thought that was going to be a long shot from Neymar, but no, that was actually significantly nicer than this one. That's the one. Surprised he's able to get it as a Travella animation from this, because he's not at, like, the standard angle, but that's a Travella finesse. And if you don't know that, then the R1 and L2 at the same time, if you've got Finesse Plus and Base Travella, you're able to do these quite nicely. As you'll see once again, Neymar, from a distance, all that trouble Chesney was giving us, absolutely all that trouble there. couldn't dribble past him at all. Some frustrating saves in the first half. A couple Travella finesses from distance with Neymar. He's obviously in lots of space to be able to get that, but yeah, just I guess shooting from outside the box is better than shooting from inside. No, well, it is what it is this year. This guy actually almost ends up getting back. The frustration, man. If you're wondering why I haven't really uploaded, and we're going to talk about this through this weekend, but if you're kind of wondering where my uploads went, it's this stuff. It's very, very hard for me to make content on this game. I don't know. It feels disingenuous to me. I think I've talked about this before. Like, I absolutely wanted to continue throughout this year just doing tutorial after tutorial and maybe tactics reviews, still keep the player reviews, you know, just do all kinds of stuff about how I'm playing. More Travella finesse, by the way. More like analysis stuff of just maybe my best and my worst games and that kind of thing. But it's so hard for me to analyze this game when, like, the only times I ever lose are games that are like, what a save that is, Schmeichel. But games where they're like, they're always high scoring. You know, you never lose, or I never lose games that are like 2-1. You know, it's always a 5-6 affair. But then, like, 2 of my goals are bounces and 4 of the opponent's goals are bounces, where it's just like an interception didn't happen, or a tackle falls back to them, or like this kind of stuff. If I'm this opponent, I'm frustrated here, you know? Got to finish from Madri, but the save was made and it bounces back, of course, always as it does, to the attacking player, not the defensive player. And again, I get my fair share of wins throughout the weekend that I'm sure are down to luck, that are down to bounces, that are just as frustrating for my opponent as it would be for me. But those tend to be, like, I feel they tend to be games I would just win anyway. They just went my way, but, like, you know, I won 6-1, and 3 of them were bounces. But even without the bounces, I still win 3-1, you know what I mean? But in the games I lose, it's normally a series of just goal after goal where they're just nonsense. And that's why it to me feels disingenuous. It is just trying to put out genuine content for the game of, like, this is how to improve and this is how to get better in a game that just does not deserve that kind of attention and that kind of getting better, because there's so much nonsense that can mess up all of your progress. Now, of course, getting better is still the right thing to do, and, like, the game, there is still some skill to the game. I think there's skill in being a rank 3, rank 2 player this year. Just being a rank 1 player, not so much. You know, you don't get the game's not skill-based enough to have, like, skill be the only determining factor in that many games in a row. You get 15 games, you know, back-to-back, and there are going to be some where there's just too much stuff outside of your control, which is not your fault that you lost. And so again, we'll try to get back into the content. It's just, that's where the videos have gone. I'm just disappointed about what the game is this year. I disagree with the path that EA is taking. Again, I've mentioned in my other one of my other Weekend League videos recently of, I'm going to try to put out some videos on, like, why I think playstyles are a bad idea, why roles are a bad idea, why FIFA's been going downhill just generally for, I'd say, quite a while. But yeah, well, I suppose as we're having the easy-ish wins now and some nice goals we're able to get, again, just like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this was a game, I'm probably going to win this one anyway. But that's not the opponent's fault. They conceded. And it could be 1-0 right now and make them feel like they've got more of a chance instead of scoring this one and still being, you know, down. What a mess of a goal that is. But anyway. Yeah, we'll see some pace from Madri, of course, with the Rapid Plus. That's her incredibly high passing stats and having incisive base. I'll get it back to her once again. Nice little pinged is the ping pass plus from Conte is my favorite passing playstyle in the game, probably pinged. I do them all the time. Nice move from Neymar. Trying out some of his tech. I think this was the first game he did complete the Evo to get tech plus. That was all nonsense. I know the opponent defended that at a point, but his tight control was just absurd. He keeps the ball so close. It's so weird how this game works, because you just give him Press Proven and Trickster, and you give Madri Trickster. Madri is a very, very good card, but the Press Proven and the unique body type of Neymar just blows Madri out of the water. I have a 98 dribbling card with her, and I'd just rather keep the 93 dribbling in Neymar. He's just better. It is kind of a silly game in how it all works like that. Yeah, that's a beautiful little move there. Making the opponent think that I'm going into him, and then was able to snatch the ball away at the final moment. Nice tackle from Blanc there. Little give and go. You'll actually see me do this a little bit more recently than ever before. Just getting in behind. Monta's got a hunter on him, so he's 99 pace, 97. What happened there? 97 acceleration. Oh, it's... I don't know who that player is, but his one attacker actually sets a pick. He's just standing in the way, and I try to tackle, and it's through him. Again, just not... It's Rivaldo there, I guess. Nonsense. Like, there's no reason for any of that, but anyway. Of course, the most frustrating ways for the opponent to get back into the game. And as I'm watching these back, if I don't have control over the match, then it's just like... And again, we're talking about the pace and me more likely to be getting him behind, but that... It's a pass that should be going through. I've got the stats and the playstyle for it. But the fact that it doesn't, it has to bounce off of the opponent's foot first. If that pass just goes in, nobody bats an eye, right? And like, oh, the pass just was completed. But no, it has to go off the defender first, in which case you're just like, why did that not bounce better? Anyway, I've scored 3 through balls here, which I think is the most, like, just fully get on behind, like, game I've ever had, really. At least for a couple FIFAs. Since, like, 16, 17, maybe that was a really viable play style for me, for what I'm doing. Yeah, that pass goes to the wrong person. I remember being frustrated about that. Perfect splitting ball there, and Son, of course, going to slot that one away. Frustrated to have given this one away, as we had all the ability to control it. Quite lucky with both of those to get through. Hall with the pass on over. Neymar, I think that's some tech we get on through. Very important to get the win there. Just last moment, but... Alright. Boy, here we go. This game exactly. There's a game like this every weekend, and it's always why I end up not uploading. It's why the uploads have gone for a month and a half. What do you want from me, game? So we're going to talk about this, because I pressed tackle. See if I can find it. Button press was there. So I pressed tackle. We'll find it. We'll get there eventually. Come on. That's forward, isn't it? There. There's the button press. Right? The ball is behind me. I'm expecting his... I know he's back facing there. That's not my fault. I didn't, like, want him to go that way. But with his back facing there, I'm just expecting the right foot, him to turn that way, and for the right foot to go towards the ball here. As the ball's behind him, I press tackle. It seems reasonable to me. I know, again, he's in a weird spot, so something weird here could happen. But this seems reasonable to expect from a player with, like, 96 stand tackle and anticipate plus. But no, as it actually happens, is the tackle input doesn't happen until here. And he tackles with the left foot? And that ends up as a penalty. So, I mean, like button delay and all of that, I know, like, the tackle button, it doesn't happen instantly. But I cued it when he was an entirely different, like, body shape. And he goes forward as he lets the ball go past him, as opposed to behind him. Like, I don't know how... I know this is a weird situation, but I cannot possibly understand this is my fault. Of course, that being... It's just so harsh. What a game here. So, of course, we've had a center back sent off, and maybe I can just not tackle and just go, you know what, we'll take the goal, or we'll concede the goal, but make sure that absolutely nothing weird here happens. But okay, red card. We've got the lead, so I've got every chance to hold this one down and see if we're able to, right? But again, it's just that nonsense, man, of, it's so frustrating. So much space here. A little lucky that pass does get through. Neymar, low driven from outside the box. What a fabulous finish that is. So going 2 goals up at the half. Looks quite promising for us, even with the red. Poor defending from me. Probably need to prioritize the wing there a little bit more. And here you'll see the problem with the game. So it was Rolfo on the bench. I did not, and this is on me. Absolutely say it's on me. But I did not remember to put a center back on the bench in case I did get a red card. So it's Rolfo there. What on earth is this, though? Like, that's not my fault. It's not the opponent's fault either. I hate this little press the sprint button and the ball hops in the air. If that doesn't happen, I get the ball here, but you just can't predict it. It's not manually cued. There's no button to perform that action. It just, you sprint, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So what do you want me to do, game? Down we go there. Very unfortunate. We're going to, of course, do what we can in this match to utilize every little mechanic on our favor. So there's the kickoff. You see just how absolutely easy that is. Very hard to defend, where we'll take advantage of the nonsense that kickoffs are. That's the same clip. Of course, probably not a good sign that I'm showing a kickoff immediately back to us. That's so harsh. She's got base jockey. I know she doesn't have the chem because she's been subbed in, but she's got base intercept, base anticipate, and base jockey, and quick step. And base quick step, and she's not able to get... She just gets caught in the animation and doesn't go. It's so frustrating. And again, it's just these little things where it's just... If I had greater control over the player to not, you know, get caught in these animations that I'm not asking for. Speaking of animations, we get one from Fermin hopping on over there. Again, you can't manually cue that. You're just seeing if an animation happens or not. That's an oh, no. And like exactly why I just can't bring myself to do these uploads. I'm keeping a cool head about it now, but like, I don't know. That interception is wild, if you ask me, from a player who doesn't have intercept plus, does he? He's incisive in long ball. And Maudry, I know, doesn't have tiki-taka, but she has 99 vision, 99 short passing on the basic. So that being intercepted is just wild to me. Not to mention, I don't know what else I can really do. Like, I guess I could do a clearance. Or I could do a first time pass if I recognize. Which I don't. So that is on me. I think I'm just a little too stressed and not very composed in this game. Or normally I just do like a pinged pass up to him maybe, or anything. Just even if I ping pass back here, it's going to bounce somewhere and maybe buy me some more time. Whereas the composure after playing with 10 men for such a long match, it's a little bit getting to me. What do you want from me though? But perfectly between the two. Doesn't let me switch to Quoto in time or get the tackle. Ugh, what is that though? And what is that? Again, for Buffon, the point of the deflector playstyle is that it's supposed to bounce anywhere else. He's offside. We talked about that whole clip and it doesn't matter. But again, it's just those bounces that really get to me. Speaking of bounces, and that's why I wanted to show that clip. Oh, it's not this one. Yeah. Unfortunate that there's no block on that. But again, just a little bit of weirdness here. I press the tackle button with Rolfo, and I don't think one actually happens. It does, but I don't know what she's doing, stabbing across. Whatever. You can, like, there's better things I could have done here, I'm sure. I can also always just take, like, a professional foul, but what a mess of a game, you know. So frustrating to have gotten this far in this game, and then, oh. Yeah, and then this one. This absolute mess of a clip here. Absolute mess, man. So first we've got to talk with Lewis Hall here. Great interception. I can't get that pass off, man. Like, what do you want? I get the interception, but it's so bouncy here. And he does this animation to get it back on over to his left foot. Just keep it on your right foot, man, and everything's fine here. But no, he delays. Once again, another ridiculous interception from a player who should not be making that kind of thing. Maybe could switch to Conte there. That's maybe a little poor on me, but then again, I felt I had to mark the run. But then just... Again, base intercept, base... Now, chat was actually really surprised this wasn't offside. I think he's just barely on. But every part of this is just like... I think it's there. Every single little aspect of this. Because I'm sure he's offside on that frame. But if it's counting, I think... You see the ball move forward there. I guess he's just barely on by the back foot. It's pretty absurd that, like, you can just... You know exactly why I'm, like, so upset about this game going against me. Feels like a really unlucky red card. Feels like a really, like... This Frankie de Jong's putting in such a shift here. No, we got it back. Oh, no, we didn't. Believe me, I've got all the defending stats there with Madri that you do with the De Jong. What a pass that is. Anyway, just some absolute absurdities. This game, for me, it's just like, it's too animation dependent. We don't have enough buttons, and this is something I'm going to try to talk about in, okay, well, after all that frustration, that absolute mess of a game there, I'll have some fun here with Neymar, but I'm going to try to talk about, like, again, I've mentioned why I think playstyle is bad, why I think roles are bad, but in a game this competitive, where it's just this animation dependent, we need more ability to select which animation we're going to have, so I'll try to talk about that too, in some upcoming, like, how to fix FIFA videos, maybe. Do let me know if you're excited for those. Those should be some nice little, podcasty type discussions. But yeah, there we go. We'll watch this one more time. Getting back to basics. And by basics, I mean the absolute absurdity of the dribbling I can pull out sometimes. That's just how good this Neymar card is. Wow. Yeah, just after a game that frustrating, getting back, having a little bit of an easier one, of course, but then being able to do the frustrating there. It doesn't matter though. Nice from Neymar. And yeah, I mention this every time, but I think there's just one game per week, at least one. I'd say no, that's absurd for a pinged pass. Probably 2 or 3. Normally, 1 where I lose and 2 where I'm just able to scrape out the win. But there's a couple of games per weekend where I just kind of forget what I'm good at. It's understandable with the red card game where I don't have the same control over like everything, but for these other matches where it's just like, yeah, maybe I let things get to me, but I need to exert my control, because when I'm actually a little bit lucky there, of course, great pass on through. That's all really good play. Yeah, that's all perfect. And finesse plus, too good. But yeah, when I'm able to just kind of hold up and just take a little bit more time for every attack, but I get caught in these moods of just, oh, the opponent's always countering, so I feel really susceptible, and I'm also just going to counter every single time. But no, if I slow the game down, it actually benefits me and the opponent. Surprised that one wasn't offside. It benefits me in both offense and defense. Because when I'm just kind of counter, and then my opponent fits in that playstyle too, and the whole game just becomes end-to-end and stretched, that's not where I'm the best. If I'm actually slowing things down, then it means when the opponent's getting their counters, they're used to the game, the pace of the game being a little bit slower. They're not as strong at doing their counters right back against me too. So anything I can do to just exert control over the match, keep things going in my favor, and ensure I'm, just able to actually do what I'm supposed to be doing in the match instead of letting my opponent dictate, what I'm trying to do. So yeah, we'll try to get back in, of course, to my more standard play styles, but oh yeah, that's poor. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, just getting used to my opponent's style of play and them being way too aggressive for no reason there. But of course, I'm sure we'll pull this one back on through. It's a tackle from Neymar. What is happening? Okay, we'll take it back. Of course, that's a little give and go. With the false 9, Mata sitting from outside the box. Now, you'll see he's nowhere near as involved this match, and part of that's, or this weekend, part of that's the false 9 role just not being as strong. Part of that's, I wouldn't say Neymar necessarily overshadowing him. I'm probably better with Neymar, but Mata's probably slightly better overall, you know what I mean? Mata should be that playmaker dictator, and Neymar should be the, get the ball top of the box and do all of your dribbling nonsense, but of course, with the false 9 role, it means Mata doesn't normally get back into the box. He'll make the step out, but then I'll just kind of go play cam as Neymar goes and play striker, and then there's not a lot of movement from there, so it's not the best tactical setup. There's some downsides, but of course, when I'm just dribbling, the downsides don't really matter. I don't need the attack positioning as such. I just need to get the ball to somebody and run around with them. See here, maybe a bit of the downside of the false 9 too. Now, a run did get made eventually. I'm saying downside as he goes and scores that. But it just takes a while. So you see we're just kind of flat here up top. There's not a lot I can do for a while. And now we're able to go. So yeah, there's some downsides. I don't necessarily recommend playing this false 9 Shadow Striker combo for the 4-4-1-1. It's a lot of fun. And if you're just kind of maybe creativity focused like me, then yeah, it can be good. But you are missing some of them. Just the actual decent runs that the players do make on advance forward to open up space for everybody else. It's really good for creativity, this setup, but if you're just looking to win your games, it's not going to be the strongest. Lucky there, although I felt unlucky that got intercepted in the first place. Man, this is what I mean. I want to recognize. For every game like the one I did lose with that red card, just the nonsense that happens, there's nonsense like this. And Mato's got tiki-taka, and he should be able to make this, but I mean, it is... Rodri doesn't have intercept plus, but the fact that he does get a foot on it, here's what I mean. I don't think Rodri should be getting a foot on that. I think Mato should be able to make this pass. But Rodri does, and so it should work out better for the opponent. It's very unfortunate for them that just that's what ends up happening. Like, not only does the intercept animation happen, but also it bounces to a worse spot. And also, Rodri's now stuck in an animation, so he can't even be tracking back with him or anything. All of that stuff, it just, you know exactly what I mean with this game. There's such little control you have over it. It's just, I know it's always been like this in a sense. Of course, it's always been a game based on animations and all of that, but this year more than ever, you just feel like luck of the draw of whether the first touch is going to be good enough there with Kelly. Sometimes it isn't, or sometimes the tackle goes to one of your players like it did there with Conte, and sometimes it goes back to the opponents. And this year more than ever, it just... my thing with FIFA has always been, you can score as many goals as you want. You can go up the other end of the pitch with just sprint down the wing and cross and put the ball into the box. Again, another thing where you don't have control over animations, you're really not controlling any of the runs, there's not much you can do. It's just like the easiest thing you can do in FIFA is all of that, and then, just kind of hoping it works, and it's really just a 50-50 at that point. Nothing skill-based about any of that, but if you want to play that playstyle, as long as I can go up the other end of the other end of the pitch, and if I play really well, be rewarded, then I'm okay. I can even lose those games. You want to play your meta, you want to play your absolute, I would say complete nonsense that ruins the fun of games like this, but I can still make fun out of it as long as, again, I can have anything going on with my attack that's reasonable and decent for... It doesn't even have to be this playstyle. I like my dribbling because I feel like it's the most control you do get. There's random animations with it, of course, but if you are a top-tier dribbler, then you know the expectations you have with it. You know about every animation is going to happen. Again, there's some randomness to it, but especially with integrating skill moves are consistent. It's pretty much the same thing every time. Neymar. Wow! Hold on. Oh, I did not expect this clip to be this good. I'll definitely give this one another watch. My word here, Neymar. A little bit of tech to get on through. Let's throw a Bona fake stop into La Croqueta. And again, I mean, if the opponent presses tackle here and it goes with the left foot instead of the right, then he gets it, but it's a very nice move. I will recognize that, the opponent can't make a better tackle there, and maybe FIFA should be a game where you should be able to tackle that, Of course, with this amount of a lead, we're going to do a little bit of showboating, so here's Mata going on through, and there's the luck again. Again, it doesn't matter in this game, I was going to win anyway, but the opponent's not having the most fortune here. Anyway. Again, whatever nonsense happens for how my opponent's playing, that's just beautiful from Neymar again, my word. Whatever nonsense is happening against me, as long as I can go up the other end of the pitch, and if I play well, I can be rewarded for it, I'm happy. But it's just not what this year is. And that's what frustrates me about FIFA to no end, is I can have... I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that last year you can get 19-1, and this year it's 15-0 only. Because with a game this bouncy and everything, you should have at least a grace game to go, you know what, you can't control everything for 90 minutes, 15 games in a row. 14-0 or 14-1 at least is somewhat reasonable of an expectation that's attainable. But 15-0, to expect everything to just go your way in a game like this is just, it's not going to happen. It rarely happens, man. Every content creator I watched used to get at least rank 2 last year. It was, 18-2 fairly consistently, if not 19-1s. But this year, almost nobody I watch is a rank 1 player, and there's no way there's no way every content creator's fallen off that much, right? Oh, well. What a weird game. Definitely let me know if there are talking points you want me to go off about. Maybe at some point I should do it's not a Q&A, but just gather a bunch of talking points from comments, and then have everybody, or what a save that is, Ali. Yeah, maybe just gather a bunch of talking points and then give my 2 cents on all of them. So let me know if you ever want me to like put out a post or something where all of you can respond to and be like, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? And I can go through and give them all my thoughts on. But yeah, there's just so many reasons why I feel this year is just unattainable as a game where you're expected to not lose, you know? More so than ever before. Every other FIFA, at least, I felt it was more attainable to get so many wins in a row. And that's pretty evident by the fact, and I'm not the first one to make this point, but we had one of the hashtag pros, I forget which one, but somebody was able to get, what, a 30-0 with a fully bronze team? And part of that's because bronzes used to be slightly better. But that's completely unattainable now. Maybe you could do it if you had a full bronze team, but with meta playstyles. But, of course, you have to have roles and playstyles and all of that now. What a touch that is, Mata. This is why these cards are just so absurd. How does he move this 1-2? He's just gone. Am I holding anything for that? It might have been an agile dribble. That's absurd, though. Wow. And like that's what I mentioned. The dribbling's so powerful. Like, how are you supposed to defend? It almost doesn't feel good to me. It's just like the opponent could not have done anything. You know what I mean? Anyway. Yeah, this game's just gone such the playstyle route of, oh, I can't do this because I don't have this, or I can only do this because I've got this and none of the other things. Anyway, should be a nice little pass over to Mata. Never mind, I'm showboating with Madre. It's not a bad strike. Anyway, but yeah, do let me know if you'd ever be interested in, like, maybe I leave a post up for a little while and then I'll try to get to, like, every comment about how this game is compared to past years or specific thoughts on anything. Anyway, this is going to be 13-1. Opponent got a red card, so this game got even easier for us, but nice little steal from Conte. It is a very, very good card. Obviously, that Immortals Evo is expired by now, but... Ooh. Oh, what? No. Oh, it's saved. I thought that was going to be a goal. That was very nice. We'll watch that again. Obviously, the Immortals Evo is expired, but Conte is a card that could be in my team for a very, very long time. There are CDMs in the game that, like, maybe that Declan Rice that came out, they're probably about as good as he is, but, you know, the point being, what a card he is. What a card. I forgot about this. So we're at 13-1, which means we get rank 2, which is silly. You know, you can lose 2 for rank 2, but you can't lose any for rank 1. I think is absurd. But in the past FIFAs, R1 and Square used to do the driven, the driven lob pass, which meant it was just like a powerful line drive. But not this year anymore, apparently. Anyway, failed at the own goal. But of course, we're giving away the final win for somebody to hopefully enjoy that for Liga TOTS. We are at the end of this here, but we will go through all the rewards. So this is the end of the post-com recorded segment, but we'll get into the live reaction here. So I'll see you there. Last year, that actually was a line drive and not a chip. Anyway, so that's the 13-1. Give the last game away. It's rank 2 either way. Make somebody's team of the season weekend happy, because nobody did that for me. I had like 3 people join my games and quit, but not give the win away, so thanks, community. Oh, I'm devastated. This absolutely could have been a rank 1. Honestly, I can't tell you why it wasn't. Some completely random nonsense red card and some completely random nonsense bounce back through me. Game that never should be going the opponent's way, but this is the least skill-based game we've ever had. Anyway, so we're off onto the Team of the Season rewards. Mostly just the player picks. Yeah. Ooh. These are tradable too, aren't they? I don't imagine either of these are valid. I haven't seen this card. It's only controlled. 5'11" is tough for a center back. But that is a really, really good layout of playstyles. 90 reactions, composure a little low, but the agility is going to be nice. They were really lazy with this card. 90, 90, 90s, 90s. Come on, put a little more effort into it. He looks really decent, actually. He looks usable, but I don't think he's going to get in over more meta players. He's got some value. Gaoro, oh, wow, that is no value. I'm actually going to hold on to you then. You can go. I would be curious to try out, but yeah, we'll take the coins. He's OP as your center back right now. Fair enough. Oh, that pick's nowhere near as good. Okay. That one's intended rewards. Thank you, thank you, Ria. Oh, my transfer list is full. Okay. Alright. Ligue team of the season pick. It's gonna be... So I really... First of all of Tricky's other cards have, Trickster Plus. But I really wish that body taps weren't a thing. Let me be clear. I'm a body tap merchant. I don't want to be like this, though. But he's average and stocky, which makes him just, like, one of the worst. Maybe I should put out a review on him anyway, just so people understand, like, how important these are. Also, people complain about his rolls. Yeah, it is disappointing. Oh, well. He's a player I'm very excited about in real life, and he's been linked with Dortmund. If there's any chance we can get him. So I'm not going to complain. Nobody else here I would use, of course. But yeah. I just wish body types weren't a thing. Followed by... Yeah, that's more intended. This card's got 97 dribbling, but none of the playstyles I care for. Including no first touch, which just kind of ruins it this time of year. Trivella Acrobat, of course, a waste. Shame for a card with decent stats otherwise, so we're just going to take fodder here. Oh well. Alright, we're going to start off with... Let's do the 89-2, I think is from this. We'll do one of them and see how it goes. Now, the blues have actually been relatively easy to pack, so I'm not going to complain about that at all. Who's this? Okay. I'm not really going to complain about the drop rate, actually. It's not bad for me, the fact that these cards are actually somewhat attainable. Hato, not quite the excitement you're looking for. I'll do the 86-10. Again, at least one of these. Another blue, good. Should be, but... I don't know this card, actually. Perot and... Ooh, that's about as bad as that could have been. Could be hiding something, though. It's 3 of them. It's Blas. Yeah, again, not what you're looking for. This card does have Trickster. Power Shot and Trivella are such a waste, though. That dribbling's too low. Yeah, he's not getting anywhere near my team. Oh well. You know, we'll go ahead and try the other 86-10. Come on, a little more exciting than that, please. I don't think any of the purple cards are really worth it. It's Hanko. Followed by... Come on. Give me something. Ufren is not what we're trying to see. Oh, that's a disappointing one. Alright, let's do... Oh, this one doesn't have highlights. Okay. This one does. We'll start with the tradable. Come on, this is the one I'm more excited about. Excited. I say excited. We're not going to get anything. Alright, that's Andre, followed by... It's not going to be... Yeah, no, that's poor. That's really bad. Ooh, boy. I don't think that could have been much worse. Alrighty. Intended rewards, of course. EA know what they're doing. And this pack with 5. No highlights. Cam. This card doesn't ring a bell. Marseille. Rabio. Well-rounded, you could say. Ah, and Ruli. Ah, boy. I mean, there's quote-unquote value, but these cards, like... Is this the first year we've had untradables, or did we have them last year? Because I think last year there were, like, every pack of these was tradable. It's really disappointing to get them untradable this year, I would say. Or rather, disappointing that they made the tradable ones worse and then give us these, like... side by side. They should really give us both, you know. Oh well, those were they're as disappointing as I expected, and yet I'm still let down. I know that there's not like a lot of value, you know, a lot of these Team of the Seasons cards are cheap, so there's not that many W's, but like, I also know I'm not using the coin, so it doesn't matter. I don't actually feel bad. It's just EA, rank 2. That's what you give us. Team here, now, Madri here, I did try on a finisher, I think was better on a basic. This card comes highly recommended. The thing with her, I don't think she is like the same take on the whole team in the way that Neymar and Mata are, where they can just hold off the ball versus like the opponent's CDMs and center backs at the same time. When she's isolated, she's just as good as you need. As good as you need. Because you're just kind of like one-on-one against somebody to open up the lane for a shot or a pass. Passing's good enough without tiki-taka, with the stats being so high, where I think she's fine making those passes inside, and then incisive base is good too, of course. Obviously, I'd like press proven, but she's really not missing much. Low driven, I guess, would be the next thing you'd want to add to her. But it is a very, very good card, and she, I think, pretty clearly is going to be my most recommended left mid in the game right now. She does outshine Hazard or anybody else I've used there. These Neymar, though, you know, anything I want to talk about gassing up this card, this was #1 player the weekend. I could not believe how good he was. That tech is actually really, really useful on him. And then finesse was, you actually saw me score quite a few of those in the box. I probably did more finesses than low drivens. I think that might have been a more important playstyle for me this weekend. But yeah, very, very good card. Of course, he's hard to get this good if you don't have the combo of Evos I've had, because the 98 stamina is really important. You can get a base gold Neymar, and then put him in Hawk 2, and then this dribbling under the shadows, but he's only got 80 stamina, and that's a little low. Still would be a good card, and he doesn't have Shadow Striker, so like my Evo chain is really important, the things I've been able to give him. Chloe Kelly, I think, is the #1 player I'm looking to replace. I'm hoping somebody, I don't know who. Yeah, I really don't know what card would be up next for me, but we're not gonna get a Trickster Plus right mids. There aren't too many. Yeah, I tried Team of the Year Hansen, and I did not like her, so I don't know if I'd do a Team of the Season Hansen. We're not gonna get like a what's his name? I can't even think. Right wing for City. Why can't I think of his name? Foden. There we go. Foden's not going to get a card this year. Normally he'd be spot on for there. So I guess I'm just looking for an Evo for Messi right now, which I do have that card. I'm excited about at some point when he does get potential to be added in here. Anyway, I'm waffling a bit. I do appreciate all of you for tuning in for this one. And yeah, we'll do a couple more games. I'll try out Cherokee here, but where is Messi? Messi's down here. Anyway, shambles at the end. Team's good. It really wasn't the team that let me down. It's just the bounces. It's only the bounces. It just really ruins the entirety of the game, the whole competitive integrity, anything it has. But yeah, if you did enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll catch you in the next one here soon. Take it easy, everybody.